Okay, so what we're going to do first, I'm going to go in with Laneige Cream Skin. This is a toner and moisturizer in one. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do after I have prepped my skin, removed any unwanted hairs or anything like that, is I like to go in with my eyebrows. So I currently use the Revolution Pro Warm Brown. It is a dual tip product. It has the spoolie for brushing your eyebrow, a spoolie for brushing your eyebrow hair out. This is my personal product. These items that you're going to see me use is from my personal kit, not from my pro kit. So I do use different items than I do in my pro kit. Not too different, but I've already had these items before, so I'm not really switching up until I get the most use out of them, and then I'll upgrade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. I'm going to look in my mirror here, but follow along. So I did say I was going to do a story time. And while I do this, I got to make sure that I'm able to tell the story as well. So this story time is going to be on how I started out doing hair. This dates all the way back, I would say back until I was 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. Around that time, me and my brother, we would play barbershop and salon. And one time, unfortunately, we got in trouble. We took it a little too far, and some hair got cut. It was my hair that got cut while playing barbershop. And then I would say a little beyond that, I started trying to braid my mom's hair before she got locks. I used to try and braid her hair, and I used to get upset because it would not come out looking the way that she would braid my hair. And I was like, really upset that it didn't turn out the same. But a few years later, I would say about half a decade later, 5 years later, when I was 12, we had a computer, and this was, before we had all of these Androids and iPhones and things like that. So we had a computer, and that's when I was first introduced to YouTube. And from there, I would watch YouTube videos of people doing their hair, and I would stand in the mirror, like after watching the videos on my own time, because when you're a kid, you got so much time on your hand. So I was in the mirror practicing, and I got it. But it was weird because the only way that I was able to do it was going down. So I could only braid going down because that was how I practiced. So then the goal was to practice going the opposite way, which would be, so I was going like this. So I needed to learn to rotate my hands the opposite way to be able to achieve a braid going back, a straight back braid. Practice, and I mastered it. So from there, from 12, I kept practicing. I was able to braid my own hair. I started doing my own hair. And then eventually, I would say about 14, 15, My best friend, she would let me do her hair, so I would do quick weaves in her hair. And then I started doing braids in my own hair, as far as with fake hair, doing extensions. I would do plaits in my own hair. I had so much time. Like, I can't even imagine doing this stuff now to myself. For other people, yeah, but those were the times. So I mastered that. And during that time, I would say between 14 and 16, everybody was like, you should go to school to do hair. You should go to school to do hair. And I really, in my heart, felt like, no, like if I go to school to do hair, I'm not going to like doing it anymore, because me doing hair right now is, a passion. I mean, a hobby. It wasn't really a passion yet. It was just a hobby for me. I didn't really know what a passion was. It was just a hobby for me at the time. And I felt like if I went to school to do it for a living, that I wouldn't like doing it for a long period of time. But that was because at the time, my idea of going to school to do hair was going to do braids, basically, for a living. And, at the time, shoot, we were doing braids, box braids for $50, $45. Like, it was not paying what it is paying now, like, by far, at all. It is definitely paying more. It's way more worth it now to do box braids and sew-ins than it was back in the day. So my idea of that was the labor. Like, no, I'm gonna be tired of it. I'm not gonna do it no more. I'm good. And also, I wanted to go to school to be a nurse. That was what was in my plans. So, fast forward, I would say, okay, had my first child at 18, well, my one and only at the moment. God willing, we can have some more coming out of here soon. I had my first child at the age of 19. After 19, after 19 years old, once I became 19 years old, after I had my son, I signed up to go to school to do my prerequisites for nursing. So I did all of that. It didn't really last long due to a few things coming up in my life, to the point where I had to stop going at that moment. So I ended up having to drop out of school for nursing to, work full time, take care of my son. Come on now. Had to reevaluate my life. Basically, was going through a couple different things at that time. And then I would say, okay. So when I was 19, it was 2000. So it was 2013 that I went to school for nursing. I did about a year, ended up having to drop out. Then I would say it wasn't until about 2018, I had to go through from 2013 to 2018. It was a 5-year jungle circus zoo fest type situation going on. And however, see, I start to get distracted. I start talking I gotta multitask. So, did that 2018. I met my now husband. Basically got to the point where I felt comfortable enough, secure enough to try and pursue a career. Within that, I had to try and really think what is something that I can do that doesn't cause me stress, that, I ended up going basically down the list of trying to figure out, okay, if I'm going to go back to school, what am I going to go back to school for? Cosmetology ended up coming back across my mind, being that that's something that me doing hair was literally something that I did as a hobby. So I did some research. Of course, by now, YouTube is way more advanced, has more information. There's people sharing their stories about going to cosmetology school and what it consisted of. And from there, that's what really got me interested in pursuing cosmetology, because I realized that I learned more than just braiding. And I learned that doing just braiding is a different type of license. You can have a braiding license, which now I don't believe is necessary here, but don't quote me because I don't like to lie. So I went to cosmetology school and loved the first 8 weeks. So each class was broken up into 8-week sections. And the first 8 weeks was wonderful. Had a wonderful instructor. He was awesome. He was detailed. He made sure we got it. So when it came to blowouts and updos and things like that, color theory, basically the whole introduction to cosmetology, he was the bomb. And then the further along it went, it did get a little bit more discouraging as the teaching styles were different for each instructor. And then it started to feel like a little bit of like a labor trade, or like labor. It just didn't seem fair for the amount that I was going to be paying in the long run, and the time that was being spent, and the lack of, I guess I would say, ethics. But however, I made it through that because I had to finish. I had started, this is my second time starting school again, and I had to finish. I dropped out the first time. At this point, I'm 25, 26, 24, 25 years old. I got to finish. I can't just go and not finish. So, finished, graduated. Whoop, 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 whoop. While in school, while in the last, I would say 8 weeks of school, I ended up getting hired as a salon assistant at a wonderful salon in Orlando called Salon Ciseaux. If you're ever there and you are a curly girl, or anyone, go ahead and check them out. But I can say that they were part of the reason why I kept going, because I learned so much from them. And the knowledge of, you're not going to learn everything in hair school. Please keep that in mind. Majority of your knowledge is going to come from experience and also your investments. So, surprise. But I do appreciate the time that I had while at that salon, because I was able to grow, more skill, or I was able to gain an additional skill that I was not learning in school. So that was cool. So that had me feeling like, okay, I got this. I could be a curly hair specialist. Like I wanted to be a master in hair coloring. And then now I know more about, doing curly hair. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I ended up leaving that job to try and pursue being a stylist on my own, because I was very eager to get behind the chair. I appreciated everything that I learned where I was, but I was very eager to get behind the chair. So I ended up leaving there, going to work at a fantastic Sam's. And this was right before COVID started, that I worked at that location. And the whole intention was to be a stylist, to go ahead and just hop in and be what I'm trying to be. Boom. Everyone gets laid off because of COVID. It was like, I just got that close. And then now I have to stay home for a year with the kids, doing virtual school. But now, since then, sorry, you guys, I'm like everywhere. Since then, I ended up obtaining a job at a blow dry bar. At this blow dry bar, I was able to meet an amazing blow dry artist who showed me her skills. And from there, I felt even more confident in what I am doing, because I was able to apply that towards natural hair and be able to blow out natural hair, which is something that I wanted to learn so bad, but I could not learn in school. I knew how to blow out straight hair, but natural curly hair, I did not know how until I got a job at this place. Worked there for almost a year. Ended up leaving that location. But before leaving that location, I was able to meet up with a local makeup artist who is well known, and was able to link up with her and collaborate with her on a few gigs throughout the year. I would say definitely this past year of doing hair styles, and me being able to grow my skill in doing more and doing updos and bridal styles, and learning that I don't really necessarily have to stand behind the chair, which is something that I was concerned about at a younger age of, no, like I don't want to be behind a chair all the time, all day, but I don't have to do that if I'm going to be a freelance makeup and hair artist doing bridal styles or events or photo shoots or, birthdays for people, here and there, and not necessarily needing to be in a salon, working in a salon, working behind the chair, doing the same repetitive styles every day like I was doing at the blow bar, which I could do a blowout in my sleep. So, but over time it becomes taxing on your body to where you're having to stand in this position all the time. You're having to move your arms in the same position all the time. At least with what I do, I can switch. I can, go to do a makeup. Go to doing hair. I don't have to only do hair. I don't have to only do makeup. I don't have to only do lashes. I don't have to only do braids. So there's more options and more flexibility when it comes to this, which is something that I didn't know. But I've been licensed 3 years now, and to say that I've learned all of this in the last 3 years, I think that's a win-win for me, because imagine what I'm going to learn in the next 3 years. Imagine. It's gonna be amazing, okay? So, sorry I went on a little tangent. Let's get to these eyes. So here's what I'm gonna do, because I want to do something a little different than what I did yesterday. Yesterday I did me a nice little brown smoky eye, kind of something different than normal for me. So I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to play in some color. I have this is my OG makeup palette. It looked nicer than this, but my niecey Pooh, she was digging in it when she was a little younger. And so, but still, I got it. It works. It has all kind of colors. This is not what I use for my professional makeup palette. You guys seen my last video for what I have in my pro kit. If you would like to see more, comment down below. So today, what am I going to use? Let's see, what are we gonna start with? So I normally like to go in with a little bit of a lighter color and then build on top of that. So I think I want to go with this somewhat gold kind of color here. I think I'm gonna go in with that and go from there. So what I like to do is I like to go just below my brow bone. Just below. I don't like to cover up that concealer that's right there. I like to have a line between my eyebrow and my eyeshadow. So you see it's a little light here. I like to do both sides, one side then the other, because I like for it to be equal. And for me, I feel like that's the best way that I can make it equal, is by making sure that each step looks close to the same as I go. So that is first. Go in with a little bit of a lighter color. But yes, let me see. Let me see. Charlie, you making all of that noise. I think I'm gonna go a little, let me see. Let me make sure I get some in right there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go in with this kind of toasted orangey brown color. I really like those. I do not clean my brush off in between doing my eyeshadows because I want them to still kind of like go together. And majority of the eyeshadow I got off on my eyelids, but they're going on top of each other anyways. So I'm gonna go in, but when I do go to transition to a different color, I go a little further down, closer to my crease, while pushing it upwards towards the original eyeshadow. So we're gonna do that again here. I'm gonna go in a little further down near the crease. And then we're gonna work our way up. Like that. Which right here. Okay. Just like that. And also, boys and girls, if you see an area that might need to be filled in or corrected, always go back and fix what you find. I got my base eyeshadow. So some people may want to stop here. They may want to stop here, add a little eyeliner, put on some eyelashes, put a little liner at the bottom, and then go ahead with the foundation color and go about their day. You can do that. You can. But I like to add a little contour in a way onto the eyelids, which you see if you look directly at my eyelids, you do not see any eyeshadow here. I don't like to put any eyeshadow there and then clump it up and add more concealer on top of there. So I like to try and keep that area a little clean so that when I go in with my concealer, I won't be mixing the concealer with that eyeshadow shade. So we're gonna go in and get a little more. And what I'm going to do, some people can do it different. It just depends on how you want it to look. I could easily go in if it's like a prom or homecoming or someone's birthday and they want that like dramatic, like glowy look on the eyelid crease. I can go in with my concealer and go above my crease to create that cut crease look. But I tend to do a little bit more of a natural glam look. So this is what I do. I go onto the eyelid. I don't go all the way over. And I do a little cut crease. I go a little above because when my eyelids are open, it folds under. And instead of it just looking like I just have it like this, you see it does kind of look the same. But once my eyes close, that one's a little more. Yes. So here's another spot where you can leave it like this with your gold, your yellowish gold, and your burnt orangey lids. Put some eyeliner, some eyelashes, and go. Or we could take it a little step further. Let's go in with this plum kind of color here. And what I like to do, so I like to brush it on the crease of the outer crease towards the lid. Okay, so we're gonna copy that right over here. Okay, so you guys see what I did there? Went back in and cleaned up. You know, you want to blur it together a little bit. We could also go a step even further, which I think I will, just to add. I think it definitely needs a little warmer, lighter, warmer tone. So I'm thinking this brown right on top. Right on top of there. See that? Then I'm gonna go back in with that color and blur the edges. Blur the edges. And I do want to bring this one in a little more towards this area here because I don't want it to look really flat right there. So we are going to bring a little bit of that tone into there. So I don't know if you guys can see. Do you see that? Nice and blended. And we're not done. Before I finish the eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the sides and go in with my foundation. And from the end of the eye to the end of the brow. End of the eye to the end of the brow. Now, normally, I like to go in with my Becca Light Shifter Dewy Tint Moisturizer. This is discontinued. So, I went and I purchased the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. For myself, I use the back of my hand. For my clients, I have a little silver palette that I use to put on the foundation. But let's go. So I'm gonna go ahead, put that there. You can see foundation. As I go in with my foundation, you will notice that I do not put foundation under my eyes. Okay? Let me tuck this in. Okay? This is my first time applying foundation with a brush. Which, odd enough, it feels like I'm using more foundation than yesterday. We're gonna go in with our concealer And our concealer will go here. And here. And what we will do with that is use our beauty blender. But like, I am yellow. So now that I have that on, I'm going to go in with my banana setting powder. And what I would do is get a little brush, or I would use my sponge and tap it under my eye. I also like to put it on my nose. And around it. And I do not let it sit. I immediately go and dust it off. Press. Some people like to go in and put the powder here to make this area appear a little lighter. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it for the heck of it. Boom, 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 boom. See that? Boom, 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 boom. We'll replicate that over here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Then we're gonna go in with our contour. And I've been using the Maybelline contour palette. It's actually a bronze and highlighter kit. I've been using this since 2019. Mind your business. But in my kit, of course, I have different bronzer, but I'm a true believer in finishing what I paid for, or what somebody paid for me. You never know. So I like to go in with this color here and right here. Okay. And then I like to go here. If you have a bigger section here, instead of following it, go a little above it. Right there. To create a shadow in that area. A little above it. See? And of course, make sure you go around here. And of course, make sure to do your nose. I'm sorry, you guys. I know the makeup portion lasted way longer than the story time. But sometimes you just gotta get straight to the business. Okay, so now that we have that done, we can put that away. Foundation, put that away. Baking powder. Always make sure you dump the excess powder. You can't put it back in there anyways. Then what's next is a little blush. And what I like to use is the Warrior 2 by Juvia's Place. They have many different options. These are supposed to be eyeshadows, but I use it as blush because it works so good. I have my little brush here, which I don't think I'm gonna use that one for my blush. I'm gonna go ahead and use what I use to dust my face off with for my blush. And I love to use this one right here in the middle. Let me show you why. Look at that. A little too much. I like to put a little bit on my nose. So I know it's a little too much. But have no fear, because we will be going in with a face powder. I like to use the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I normally use medium deep, and then you want to tap it and then go over certain areas to mute things down a little bit. Okay. Always dump the excess. And finally, we're gonna go in with some highlighter. For highlighter, I love to use this Too Faced cream highlighter. It is so cute, so pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little line there. I'm gonna put a line here, boom. And I like to go in with this little stick here and blur it out. Before we end it off, you want to go back over with your little powder, whatever's left on your brush. And then I want to set my face before I finish it. So I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter. Love this setting spray. I'm gonna go ahead and dry. All right. Ooh. Y'all see that? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and finish up. What I'm gonna do is go in with some eyeliner. I like this Milani Stay Put waterproof eyeliner, liquid eyeliner. So I'm gonna go in with the liquid eyeliner, and then what's going on here? Charlie. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Beautiful. I just love it. So gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here. I gotta still use the party. Showed it, but I ain't stressing today. I ain't stressing today. We're gonna do a brown under eye. Work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Let's go. Not hard. Work smart, not hard. Let's go. Smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Let's get it. Oh. Okay, when I put on my lashes, I like to do the very outer corner first and then feed the rest. Okay. So for the lips, we're gonna go in with this color here. I personally, which it is a new thing, I do like to overline my top lip because when I smile, it kind of goes away. So what I did was I went over, filled it in. Okay. Then I have this nude look right here. I'm gonna put that right here. It don't gotta be perfect. She don't gotta be perfect, baby. She don't gotta be perfect. You just gotta put it on there. Sit it, leave it. You can leave it. I'm gonna go in with this mauve type color to match the and it's not really giving, so we're gonna go in with this goldy kind of look. Feels like it needs to be a little more pink. Sometimes you might have to clean up around your lip. Okay. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and set it one more time, okay? This is just what I like to do personally. Everybody don't got to do what I do. And just like when you cooking, you want to clean up as you go.